Hi, this is Les Levine, the self-proclaimed voice of truth and reason in Ohio sports. We got baseball back again, I guess. It just doesn't seem like we got baseball back. It seems like we made up a game, put a fake runner on second base, see if he could score at the beginning of the inning, and lights out. Now, if you made up 50 suggestions on how to improve the game of baseball, that idea wouldn't be one of the 50. In fact, it might be right alongside of pitchers having to face at least 3 batters. I don't get that one either. But while I'm telling you I can't stand what they've done to our game, in mid-September, you and I are going to be standing together. Francisco Lindor is going to be up. He's going to have a chance for a game winner off his former teammate, Trevor Bauer, now with the Cincinnati Reds. Andy Baskin is here. More Sports and Les Levine is on the air. From the worldwide headquarters of More Sports and Les Levine, it's a Wednesday night. Good evening, everyone. Welcome once again to More Sports and Les Levine into its 24th consecutive year. 25 is coming up around the corner in September. Andy Baskin from 92.3 The Fan is here. Andy, how that is Andy Baskin. Somewhere.
That is.
No, not on my cameras, you're not.
Here I am.
Hey, hello. How are you?
I found myself.
I was just gonna congratulate you on what a great job you and Jeff Phelps are doing and all the other guys at 92.3 The Fan, because the people listening or watching, they don't see it, but in your case, you're sitting in one county, Jeff is sitting in another, the people who make up the show are in a third county, and you pull it off like it's just an everyday kind of thing that you do.
It's been interesting. It's weird. I can't believe we've been 3 months apart. I don't know if that's good or bad that time has flown by so fast, but it's been okay. It's been, it is what it is. I do the radio show like 3 feet from here. So I have my TV studio here and then my radio studio over there. It's really exciting stuff.
Well, you're doing a great job. And I think the fact that I don't think too many members of the audience actually know what's going on shows what a good job you're doing.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
You're welcome. Everything else okay? Father's Day was good?
Yeah, everything else is okay. Yeah,
right.
I'm just glad baseball's back. That's all.
Well, let's talk about that. Then I want to talk some Browns football. We haven't had a chance to do that in a little bit. But baseball's back. I don't know if you heard my self-proclaimed voice of truth and reason commentary. It doesn't feel like we baseball fans won anything.
If they just would have agreed to something, I think it would have been okay, Les. If they would have just come up to some kind of agreement, rather than having the commissioner say, you're going to play 60 games and this is the way it's going to be, and we're going to start with a runner on second base, and we'll spread out. And you can have 60 guys on the in town if you need them. That's not the way it should have been. They should have figured out that they're America's pastime, that they can play the game, that they can figure this out, that we all know they have labor issues, and that they can figure out the labor issues next year. That's the way it should have worked out. It didn't, and that's why I think we're all kind of like, okay, baseball, let's see how you screw this up next.
Well, when you think about it, it was all set up to happen that way anyway. It didn't matter. The negotiations went to some level, and then they all said, okay, let's stop. Somewhere on the books, the commissioner's allowed to make a ruling, so let's let him earn his salary. And that's pretty much what happened.
Yeah, I just wish the commissioner didn't have to make it, because it just seems like the players were sitting there forcing the commissioner to do it so they could have a grievance, so they could have something to sue over as they head into the next round of negotiations.
Well, it's going to happen again. They should have, if they were going to come up with something, they should have just come up with it and get it over with. But we'll go through it again next year. All right, here's what we need to know about the 2020 baseball season. Players will report to camp on July 1st. The opening day will be the 23rd or 24th. And then the 60-game season is going to run through September 27th. The trade deadline will be August. Their universal DH, I don't see why that's even a factor. Of course, that should be that way. And also the runner starts at second base in extra innings. How that is going to improve and excite the game is beyond me, but I guess they're going to do it. So, I heard you guys talking. Rosters start at 30 players for the first 2 weeks. They'll move to 28 the following week, then stay at 26 for the rest of the season. Teams will have a taxi squad, and that'll allow them to have as many as 60 players available. Now, obviously, I'm saying obviously, you would think they're just going to say, okay, on today's game or today's series, you're going to have this amount of guys playing. You're not going to have 60 guys dressing and available, I wouldn't think.
No, from what I understand, the 60 guys will be here, but you're right. They'll only dress like 27. And then what they'll do is some of those guys will be out at maybe Classic Park or Crusher Stadium. I even heard St. Ignatius was in the paper today. They were saying that. So those guys will be here, but they won't be at the games because they still want to spread them apart. But you'll have access to 60 players in a moment's notice.
Yeah, so going back to what you said before, you look at this team and they negotiate and they do whatever they do. Then you come to the predisposed decision that the commissioner is going to make something up. But the Indians will play out 10 games against each of the other division members of the AL Central. And in addition to that, they're going to play 4 games each with the NL Central. And that would include the Reds, the Cardinals, the Cubs, the Pirates, and the Brewers. Do you like the way they broke that up, or would you have, I don't know what else they could have done, especially with the amount of travel.
Yeah, I'm okay with it. I didn't need to see the Indians go out west and play baseball this year. If they're only going to play, if they're only going to play 60 games, there's really no reason for them to do that. What I kept saying to Jeff today, though, is at some point they're probably going to say, you know what, we've got the DH in both leagues if this plays through. Maybe we should realign, the American, the National, whatever that's worth. Maybe we should realign. Maybe it's easier for Clevelanders to get over to Pittsburgh rather than they're not going to go to Minnesota. You're not driving over to Minneapolis. So I think that they're going to look at this and they're going to see what works. And I think they're going to try to keep the best of it as they move forward. And don't be surprised if realignment is something that happens somewhere in the future. I'm not banking on it. It's just me saying, look, it makes more sense. I'd rather see the Indians have a rivalry and have a true rivalry with somebody like Pittsburgh rather than trying to have a rivalry with Minnesota or Kansas City.
Andy,
I'm tired of Kansas.
Andy, you can't have common sense in an argument like this about baseball. It just doesn't belong.
Sorry.
Crying doesn't count in baseball, neither does common sense. I mean, they've messed up the game in so many other ways. Why not bring Pittsburgh and Cincinnati into the same division? But here's the other thing, though. I had always thought it would be great for baseball before they started interleague play, to have the Yankees versus the Mets and the Cubs versus the White Sox. The more I think about it, I don't think it's a good idea. 216-575-0403 is the number to call. Andy Baskin is here from 92.3 The Fan. We're going to get a chance to look at the most unlooked at position in the Cleveland Browns and maybe in the National Football League. That would be the linebacker. It used to be an important position. Doesn't seem to be that anymore. We'll take a look at that and more when we get back. Did you know the Ohio Lottery has paid out over $1 billion in winnings over the past 6 months? People are winning in record numbers throughout the state, and winning is happening every day. Play the Ohio Lottery game and play it today. We'll come back in a moment. Andy Baskin with us. More Sports and Les Levine continues exclusively on cleveland.com. You can follow us on Facebook at facebook.com/More Sports and Les Levine with new content posted each and every day. And of course, all you have to do is take a look at our question that we put up in the morning. We read it later in the afternoon and keep it there as we archive it all night. We'll come back in a moment. More Sports and Les Levine exclusively on cleveland.com.
Presque Isle Downs and Casino has sports betting. Use one of our 50 state-of-the-art Bet America kiosks to place your bet and watch your favorite games on one of our many HD televisions or visit our sportsbook area. Only at Presque Isle Downs and Casino.
Do you like Ohio State football? Would you like to get information from me, Doug Lesmerises, about Ohio State football without having to look at my face? We have got the plan for you. Become an Ohio State text subscriber through cleveland.com. You send a text, 614-350-3315. What do you get? 2, 3, 4 texts right in your phone every day about Ohio State football. Inside information, polls, voting, all kinds of things. You can be on our podcast. We take tech subscriber questions on our Buckeye Talk podcast every week. If you really want to be involved with Ohio State football, in season or out of season, become an Ohio State tech subscriber from cleveland.com. Send a text to 614-350-3315. 14-day free trial. What do you have to lose? $3.99 a month after that. 614-350-3315. I'll see you in your phone.
As a kid growing up, my dream was to go to college, play baseball, and get a degree. Coming out of high school, I had two choices. I was accepted into a four-year university, but I decided to come to Tri-C after receiving a scholarship. I got my associate's degree at Tri-C. They transferred all my credits straight into Baldwin-Wallace, so I started at Baldwin-Wallace University as a junior. My name is Tyler Leonard, and I earned my first degree at Tri-C.
The Ohio Lottery Partners in Education program recognizes role model students and teachers from across Ohio. Nominations can now be done completely online. To nominate a deserving teacher or student, go to OhioLottery.com. In the About section, find Partners in Education. There you will find links to the nomination forms. Students kindergarten through 12th grade can be academic all-stars. Teachers can be honored as a Teacher of the Month. The Ohio Lottery Partners in Education, where stars shine.
Our linebacker group attacked the offseason, and that was great to see. They competed and they worked in many different ways. I think this offseason we were able to find out, really focus on how guys learn, because we were able to do different recorded meetings that we're doing right now on Zoom, where we could be live and really get to know each other, and we could give them a lot of feedback. Specifically to Mac and Sione, they're very competitive, and they really attack the playbook. They want to be good, and Mac saw the field enough to where he knows what he can do and what he needs to work on. And same with Sione. Sione had that early season injuries, but Sione, for example, his field work that he's doing right now, and it's really interesting because they're doing so much field work on their own. But it's awesome. He would put his helmet on and it just got better and better at moving and running, and very competitive young men. So we're excited to see what they do when we get to practice.
What's so interesting about what he's doing?
Sione, just how he's moving, how powerful he is. He's really competing in the workouts to cover the most ground, to break on throws, to control his body in space. Would be a few of the things he's doing well. Mac, all of them. I don't want to isolate too many people, but they've all. What was cool about this virtual offseason program is they all improved because we could really focus on their drills and their individual body position, because everybody moves differently. And different's not bad. It's just different, which is one of our sayings. Like this offseason, different's not bad. It's just different. So we're going to deal with it. And we're going to get better. And they all improved with the feedback on the drills, just improving in your, drills that linebackers have to do, like shuffling. You have to be able to move through things and diagnose run pass. They all improved that way.
That's linebacker coach Jason Tarver of the Cleveland Browns. Andy, I know when I grew up learning about football, and probably even in your generation, it changed after that, but linebacker was the most popular decision out there, other than quarterback. But linebacker got the most publicity. I would think guys like Jack Lambert, Ray Nitschke, LT, Lawrence Taylor, Sam Huff even before that. Now it doesn't seem to be that way. I've got a list of the 5 top linebackers in the NFL, and I'm not sure either of us knows anything about them. We'll start with the Seahawks, Bobby Wagner, Eric Kendricks of the Vikings, Darius Leonard of the Colts. Then you have Demario Davis of the Saints, and C.J. Mosley of the New York Jets. That doesn't seem like Jack Lambert to me, where he thought that the quarterback should have worn skirts at the time.
No, I think you'd be hard-pressed even to find Browns fans that can name the Browns' 3 starting linebackers. I mean, we talked about Sione Takitaki. People know who Mac Wilson is. And then the other guy is going to be Jacob Phillips, So, it's like I just don't feel confident in the linebacking core, but when you say things like C.J. Mosley is one of the top 5 linebackers in the NFL, it makes you wonder, maybe it's a league trend more than it is just here in Cleveland.
Well, what do you think it is? I think it's the game has changed to the point where those guys aren't as valuable as they had been before. I mean, look at those names I talked about: Lambert, Nitschke, Lawrence Taylor, Sam Huff. These names evoke images of greatness.
Who are those guys now, though? They're the ends. They're the defensive ends now.
Yeah, defensive ends.
That's what you're hoping for. It's Myles Garrett. You know, you're hoping it's Olivier Vernon.
Do you think the Browns are that way by design, or that's what they got left with?
I don't know. I think they got left with some of it, but I don't know. Let's wait and see what the Browns look like. Let's wait and see what this defense looks like, because you just don't know. I don't know how you can sit there and say Joe Woods wants this or doesn't want this on his defense, because they're new guys to him. So we'll see what happens. I do think the linebacking core on paper is the part of the team where you're like saying, I don't know. That really could mess us up, especially for a team that had trouble stopping the run last year.
Yeah, and when you look at it, the group, the 4 behind them, the safeties and the cornerbacks, that leaves a lot of questions by itself. So you have you pretty much confidence in the front line defensively. After that, it's a problem.
It's going to be a money year for Denzel Ward. Let's be honest. I mean, he needs to have a good year this year. He needs to step out. Grady Williams, it's also his chance too to step out, and figure out what he can do. But otherwise, you're still really young on defense. You're young all the way across the board. And we were talking about a team that was one of the youngest in the NFL last year. They're still pretty young, and they need some more experience. But I think the part where you look at them the most and say, man, I wish we had, 2 full seasons out of 3 guys is at the linebacker core. You don't have it.
No. We haven't talked in a while, but when you look at this team, are you confident in it by position, or at least unit by unit? I think you're pretty happy with the defensive line, right?
Yeah, I'm good. Would I like them to maybe switch out at Olivier Vernon? Yeah, maybe. But, Vernon's there. Let's see what he has. Maybe he was hurt last year. Hopefully he's better than what they thought he was going to be, and if not, then maybe they'll have to make a move, or maybe somebody like Adrian Claiborne is going to be able to step up and help out this team and make them a little bit better. It's just on defense, I have concerns. On offense, I really don't have a lot of concern.
I'm glad to see you got the Adidas contract.
The Adidas? No, I got the Nike contract.
Nike.
Come on, man.
Oh, I could only see half of it.
That's fine.
I had to mention both of them. Hey, speaking of Nike, everybody knew about the Michael Jordan bio that was coming out over a 10-week period. Not many people know that LeBron James has one coming up this Sunday.
Yeah, we do. It's coming out Sunday. We talked about it.
How are they gonna make him look good? It's the 10th
anniversary. Are you gonna watch it?
It's the 10th anniversary of the decision. No, I don't think I'm going to. How about you?
There's a lot of behind the scenes stuff. I think somebody said they've already watched a preview of it. Maybe it was Chris Fedor. I didn't want to watch it, and then I started thinking about it. Now I kind of do want to watch it. I hope they make Jim Gray look to be the villain in this thing, because to me, he's the catalyst to the whole thing. And, we remember he was having conversations when the Cavaliers went out to L.A. that last year. LeBron was here, and he was talking to Rich Paul, and then people were starting to piece things together. I hope Jim Gray's the villain this week. I really do.
I don't know how many people realize or remember that Jim Gray was the voice of the Cavaliers for a year.
Yeah, let's forget about that year, because it wasn't very good.
It wasn't very good, and I didn't like how he got it, but that's a different story. 216.
Another good one.
216-575-0403 is the number to call. You can email us during the show at reallesslevine@gmail.com. Northeast Factory Direct with 3 great locations, plus the website that is incredible. They've got the West 140th Street. You can stop in there, Lakeland Boulevard, and of course Freeway Drive in Macedonia. Or first go to the northeastfactorydirect.com website, and you'll find out how you can get the lowest price guarantee for the next year. We'll come back in a moment. Andy Baskin, 92.3 The Fan. More sports and Les Levine continues exclusively on cleveland.com.
Celebrate Naturestone's 30-year anniversary with a free Naturestone floor. During 2020, we will be giving away 30 free floors to 30 very lucky customers to say thank you for making Naturestone the best concrete flooring solution for garages, basements, and more. Call or visit naturestone.com today to register to win, and we'll send you a copy of our new buyer's guide absolutely free. There's no purchase necessary. Winners will be chosen monthly. With over 30 million square feet installed for more than 60,000 customers, it's easy to see why I always say it's not just a floor. Wow, it's Naturestone.
There are tastes we remember. Every smell brings the happiness of times gone by. Experience this every time you walk into Gallucci's Italian Foods. Whether you need lunch on the go, a catered party, or that perfect blend of wine, meats, and cheeses, Gallucci's has exactly what you're looking for. Straight from Mama's kitchen for old world traditions or original experiences. From the tastes you remember to new flavors you'll never forget. Gallucci's is a tasty branch of your family tree.
When it comes to selling you a mattress, most retailers are handing you a long line of extra steps that drive up costs and create confusion. At the Original Mattress Factory, we simplify the mattress shopping experience by building mattresses and box springs in our own local factories and selling them direct to you. It's short, sweet, and simply makes sense. So experience more than just the mattress store. Experience an original, the Original Mattress Factory.
Time for a How Come Quickie. Andy, how come if 2 is company and 3 is a crowd, 4 and 5 is 9? Any idea? Any math majors around here? Apparently not.
I failed algebra.
Your kids will love that one. Write it down, mark it down. Tell me how they took it. 216-575-0403 is the number to call. Ben Lindsay is from Pro Football Focus, and Andy, I think he took the easy way out on this. He decided that Baker Mayfield is the Browns' X Factor. I think you can take a 5-year-old kid off the street and ask him who the X Factor is for the Browns, and you'd come up with Baker Mayfield.
Some people might say Kareem Hunt. I know my partner Jeff would say Kareem Hunt on this, but I think you're right. It's a matter of, what is he going to be able to do this year? And is he going to be able to, clean out the cobwebs between his ears and get through all the mental part of what he was missing from last year? And I don't blame him for the whole mental part of what happened last year, because I think he was getting direction in like 15 different places on how to be a better quarterback and how to play better. And so I want him to be able to be a better quarterback this year. And I think that the Browns are in a position to do that. I think they've got the right coaching staff in place. And as long as there's no backstabbing or bickering among the coaching staff, we have a chance to be a very successful football team.
You had a chance to talk about Hugh Jackson and all that. Did you change your opinion of what happened while he was here?
No, not at all. And in fact, I'm happy that he took the time out to talk to us. I was excited about that. But I'm also like, he sat there and told us in a meeting before the Browns played the Packers in preseason. And he told us that Deshaun Kaiser was the franchise quarterback. And in the interview we did the other day, he said, I said, look, I mean, you got this kid. You had some other older guys on the staff like Brock Osweiler, who probably could have led the team that year, at least in the beginning of the season. And you call them the franchise. And I was like, why would you do that? And he said, well, if you want to make something sweeter, you got to give it some honey or some sugar. And I was like, all right, I guess. He goes, you got to build them up. So why didn't he do that for Baker Mayfield? That's my question. He did the exact opposite for Baker Mayfield, who was in the same position. And that's where I have all the problems. Like, just unbelievably inconsistent about that.
Where does he place the blame for his demise? John Dorsey, Jimmy Haslam, somebody else in the front office? Who does he blame?
The one statement he made is he wishes that he would not have given up the play calling duties. That was the one thing he said. I never would have given up the play calling duties. So, again, that's just another reason to think that if there's one voice in Baker Mayfield's head, he should be successful, not 15.
I think that's a cop-out. I think when you fail at something, you try to come up with an excuse for it, and to me, that's just an excuse. It wasn't just play calling that messed him up, nor could it have saved him.
Sounds to me like he had two different agendas too. Like he didn't know where they were going. He kept saying to us, "I came here to win. I didn't think they were tearing it down. I was there to win. I thought, if they would have given me the right players, we would have won," kind of thing.
And
that's
also,
where he kind of went in our interview.
correct me if I'm wrong, didn't he also say that he didn't work with the quarterback very much? And if so, how does that happen?
I don't know. I don't know. I was happy that he took the time out to talk to us. He told us that he's got a book coming out. So we'll hear more. We'll hear more of what he had to say. But it's just the whole quarterback part of it is what is really frustrating. And when you hear some of the behind the scenes stuff from Hard Knocks being in town and how they staged some stuff, and if you talk to people who are around the facility, some of the stuff was staged. And that's kind of sad when I hear that.
All right, we're talking about the Baker Mayfield and his transition from an elite season as a starter at Oklahoma, and then one of the better rookie performances in his rookie season. New coach Kevin Stefanski, his offense and the additions of tackles Jack Conklin and Jedrick Wills Jr. should right the ship right then for Mayfield in 2020. But there's also accuracy issues and pocket present issues that Mayfield in 2020, but they'll try to figure that out. It also seems that the footwork thing was a big deal. We haven't heard much of footwork. Here's the accuracy issues of the first 2 years of Baker Mayfield. 63% in the first year in 2018. It was 24th in the NFL. And then 2019, it was 59.4%, which is almost at the bottom at 31. It seems strange to me that as we analyzed last year when it was over, certainly nobody praised him saying he had a Pro Bowl year. But it seemed to get worse and worse in everybody's eyes as you got into January and February and all that in analyzing his season. It seemed to get worse and worse as the people who were doing the analyzing came up with it. It just seems like there was something that went down, down, down.
Yeah, but what's interesting is I think the offensive line got better as the season went on. And I think if you would ask me what was the biggest problem in the beginning of the year, it was his confidence. I think he thought the offensive line couldn't stop, couldn't stop anything. And as the season went on, I thought they got better and they played better. Guys like Joel Bitonio, I thought significantly better as the season went on. But for him, I just thought it was a confidence thing. I thought there were times when he felt like he had to do too much. I think there were times when he just made bad decisions. He looked sloppy out there. He just didn't look like he had confidence in his offensive line, and I don't blame him because they weren't very good in the beginning of the year.
No,
and I still have visions, and I talk about this all the time, of him getting sacked for a safety early in the season. And it was just like everything collapsed on him, and I think he never got over that. On top of the fact that your head coach was talking about one thing, your offensive coordinator was talking about another thing, and there's all this pressure. It's just one voice, one clear voice for Baker Mayfield, I think that changes everything.
All right, well, Ben Lindsay of Pro Football Focus says Mayfield's the X factor. He says the accuracy issues stand out in the NFL graphic, and the key in 2020 lies in his ability to improve in accuracy and pocket presence. Again, that's low-hanging fruit, but it's true. But he's got a great run. Should have a great running game. Should have an excellent receiving core and tight ends. And your favorite, a fullback.
Well, I'm excited they've got Andy Janovich now. And look, they've got somebody who can protect him. You've got two tight ends on the outside if they're going to run two tight ends, and you can have two running backs. Or if you want to use a fullback and a running back, I think all of those things will help him. And that's the key. I think you have to ask yourself, what can make Baker Mayfield better? And I think they did that by upgrading the offensive line, by having two stud wide receivers, by having two of the best running backs in the game, and then adding a fullback, and then using two tight ends if they do what Kevin Stefanski did, what he did in Minnesota. That's why I have confidence in the offensive line. They said, we have someone that knows what they're doing when they're in the right situation. So let's create the right situation. Now let's just go forward and not deviate from that plan.
All right, it looks like they were overrated last year. They might be underrated this year. Out of 100, what do you think? What do you think their chances? What do you think that number is as to getting a playoff position? 0 to 100.
I think they can get to 9 wins. I truly do. I think it's going to be based on the defense. The defense is going to make or break between 7 and 9 wins. They're going to have to win 2 games for them. I really think that's going to be the difference for this team this year. And 9 wins is going to get you into the playoffs this year.
I was going to say with the expansion of the playoffs, I was going to ask if 9 is enough. You think it is?
That's why I think 9 wins if you can get 9 wins in the AFC North, you're going to the playoffs.
216-575-0403 is the number to reach Andy Baskin. You can do that right now. You can also email us during the show at our website. You can do that. You can also explore your interest and find a program that puts you on the right path to a bright future. Tri-C offers more than 1,000 courses and over 150 career and technical programs. Go to tri-c.edu for more information. We'll take a break. We'll come on back in a moment with Andy Baskin, 92.3 The Fan. More sports and Les Levine continues exclusively on cleveland.com.
As a kid growing up, my dream was to go to college, play baseball, and get a degree. Coming out of high school, I had two choices. I was accepted into a four-year university, but I decided to come to Tri-C after receiving a scholarship. I got my associate's degree at Tri-C. They transferred all my credits straight into Baldwin-Wallace, so I started at Baldwin-Wallace University as a junior. My name is Tyler Leonard, and I earned my first degree at Tri-C.
Well, hello, everyone. Let me tell you a little bit about Brown's Football Insider. For only $3.99 a month, you can get text sent right to your phone each day from me, Dan Lobby, Scott Pasco, and Ellis Williams. In addition to that, you'll receive a Football Insider newsletter every day with special things from us, things that you won't see anywhere else on the site. You'll get breaking news, analysis, features, film breakdown, and things like that. Texting us directly gives you a great chance to cut through the clutter of Facebook, Twitter, other social media, and avoid the trolls. Also, it's the only way to get your questions on the Orange and Brown Talk podcast. So why should you sign up? Try a 14-day free trial. You can cancel at any time. All it takes is one text, but you won't want to cancel. We have hundreds of subscribers join us over the last year. They love it and have stayed with us. We're seeing the Football Insider community grow every week. And it's only $3.99 a month, which is less than 14 cents a day. What I like most about Football Insider is the opportunity to connect with you one-on-one and really communicate with you. So how can you become a Football Insider? You can click on cleveland.com/Browns, the blue banner at the top of the page. Or easier yet, text me at 216-208-3965. Again, that's 216-208-3965.
It takes attention to detail. With your local Bryant dealer, you're getting more than just a technician. You're getting someone who pays attention to your needs and the little things that make a big difference. It takes a dealer you can rely on. And to keep your family warm this winter,
here, let me show you how this works.
It takes Bryant.
Bryant, whatever it takes.
And to keep your family comfortable, it takes Smiley One Heating and Cooling. Find them at smiley1.com.
This date in Les Levine sports history or in sports history rather, after losing to Boston in the East semifinals, LeBron James was ready to make his decision. The fans had to wait some 10 days for that. They got that decision on July 8th. And I think we know what that decision was. Birthdays for today, Sam Jones, along with Helena Handbasket, 1947. Doug Jones, seen on the left. Antoine Winfield. Also have Lionel Messi and Bradley Chubb celebrating birthdays on the 24th of June. 216-575-0403 is the number to call. I think I messed up the email address earlier. It's realleslavine@gmail.com. If you want to send us an email during the show, you can do that. Tyler Sullivan ranked Joel Bitonio as the 9th best offensive guard for 2020. This is what he had to say about Bitonio. There you see Cleveland's offensive line as a whole was not great in 2019, but Bitonio was a lone bright star, and he was named the second team, and there you see it. Now, here's the deal. I don't. Yeah. I really am not. I can't look at an offensive tackle or guard and say one guy's better than the other, but I can tell leadership. And in addition to playing well, Bitonio's got to provide that leadership.
Agree. Totally agree with you. And J.C. Tretter, I think, also. And look, I mean, Trutter's in a great spot right now because when you listen to what the voice of the NFL is as they get into all the labor issues, heading into the COVID-19 stuff. It's Treader, and I got to tell you, it's pretty impressive when you hear columnists or guys from all around the nation saying, "Look, it's J.C. Treader, the head of the Players Association in the NFL, who's saying this or saying that," and that's a real leader, man. I mean, JC's not only got to be a leader for the Browns, but he's got to be a leader for the NFL too. But I think you're right about Joel Bitonio, and I mean, he's definitely stepped up throughout his tenure with the Browns.
One of the things we've had here with Cleveland in the last 10 years or so, and I'm going back maybe to Joe Thomas when I say this, that your quarterback is supposed to be the leader, but in many other ways, your offensive line has to take charge and be the leader also, because he's that guy, Joe Thomas or whoever else you're going to use. They're the ones who have to lead the way.
I agree with you, but I also disagree. I think it's a sad state of affairs that just shows you what the Browns have been all about, that our best player has been an offensive lineman since the team came back. I mean, there's little question about that. And so if you're always looking to your offensive linemen to be the leaders on everything, other than, making rookies pay for the team meal, I think you got problems. Your leader better be the quarterback. And
that's his main job, to make the rookies pay for the meal?
Yeah, you got to make sure the rookies are paying for that meal.
What happened to donuts?
Oh, the donut days?
Yeah.
Have you seen some of the bills for the offensive linemen?
Right.
The rookies, what they've got to pay?
Cleveland's offensive line as a whole was not great in 2019. We talked about that a little bit earlier. When we come back, by the way, you have to grade How Come Quickies, right?
Of course, it's my job.
That's why you're here. That's exactly why you're here. Northeast Factory Direct, they've got 4 locations if you include the great website. And you want to check it out, and you're going to get the best price guarantee at the West 140th, also Euclid at the Lakeland Boulevard, as well as Freeway Drive, that's in Macedonia, and northeastfactorydirect.com. We'll come back in a moment. We'll check out, should we take the phone call now? All right, when we come back, we'll grab a phone call. More Sports and Les Levine continues exclusively on cleveland.com.
Your home is your most important investment, and your basement is the go-to part of your home. It's your children's rec room. It's where your family and friends spend time together. It's much more than just a basement. Now is the perfect time to add beauty and value to your home with an authentic NatureStone basement floor. And every NatureStone floor comes with Russell's Promise, our true unconditional warranty. For a limited time, get our exclusive mini pearl stone for as low as $2.99 a square foot, plus installation. Schedule your free cost estimate easily online today at naturestone.com. It's not just a floor. Wow, it's NatureStone.
When it comes to selling you a mattress, most retailers are handing you a line. A long line of extra steps that drive up costs and create confusion. At the Original Mattress Factory, we simplify the mattress shopping experience by building mattresses and box springs in our own local factories and selling them direct to you. It's short, sweet, and simply makes sense. So experience more than just the mattress store. Experience an original, the Original Mattress Factory.
Presque Isle Downs and Casino has sports betting. Use one of our 50 state-of-the-art Bet America kiosks to place your bet and watch your favorite games on one of our many HD televisions, or visit our sportsbook area. Only at Presque Isle Downs and Casino.
Let's check out this date in Les Levine sports history, June 24th, 1960. After being named the odds-on choice to be the MVP of the South Euclid Red Sox, Les thinks that they are retiring his uniform number, but what really happened is they ran out of uniform numbers, and they couldn't find a parent who would chip in a couple of bucks to help a poor guy out. Ever happened to you, Randy?
Sorry to hear that. Yeah, I feel bad for you.
Yeah.
That's sad.
All right, I'm going to ask.
It's funny, I've been over there. I've been over in your old neck of the woods lately, watching youth baseball over there. Lindhurst, South Euclid, all over the great touring stadiums of the east side of Cleveland.
Absolutely. All right, we're going to ask you this question. You hold off on your answer because we'll have people respond to it. our Facebook
right.
question of the day, which is, does a 60-game season help or hurt the Indians? Kevin Pyle says a short season doesn't sound ideal for the Tribe since they actually start in the first half and then they don't do better in the second half. Hopefully, this season in the summer, rather than cold weather, spring months will make it better for baseball and its results. Glenn Berger says a 60-game season is essentially a season of a shade over 2 months. That's not time to weather the injuries, the COVID-19 problems, and the Indians have several outfield questions that they won't have a chance. They won't have it. They don't know if they're going to be at that spot. All believe the short season, however, will hurt the Indians. Andy Mees says it benefits the Tribe as an abbreviated schedule decreases the odds of suffering too many key injuries when it comes time for the playoff and hopefully World Series run. Something that we've had too many things in the past come under Tito. Larry Pantages says, remember when Mike Hargrove said regulars are regulars for a reason, and he didn't use his bench? With only 60 games to go, the starters are going to be used almost every day, so the philosophy is in Tito we trust to pick the correct outfielders especially. Tim Gebhardt says, I like the fact that we have the DH in both leagues, but please, no artificial extra base running. Well, that's exactly what's going to happen. Andy, does it help, short season help or hurt?
In Tito we trust. I think that was the best line there. I don't know how you can start whining about injuries. That to me seems crazy. How do you know what your injuries are going to be going into this thing? And and maybe the team that stays healthiest wins the whole thing. My only concern for the Indians is if they have a fire sale on Friday and they start trading players. If Lindor's gone, or if they start losing players that could help them win a World Series this year.
The injuries are a part of the game. You just don't know what the virus is going to do to the team, but we'll wait and see. We're going to all learn this together. Let's go to the phones. Let's go to Jay. Jay, go ahead. You're on with Andy Baskin.
Hey, Jay.
Hey there, Les. Hey there, Andy.
Good.
Big fan of you both.
Thank you.
So I just want to make a comment about what you guys had mentioned earlier, kind of about how Hugh Jackson treated Deshaun Kaiser and Baker Mayfield. I'm not a big Hugh Jackson fan, but I actually think that John Dorsey is the guy who made it so that Baker didn't start initially. Because if you look back at the guy, he in Kansas City and in Green Bay, their best quarterbacks, they sat for a year at least, and then they learned behind a veteran. And then I think Dorsey thought that's exactly what he wanted to do with Baker, and that's why he got Tyrod and all that other stuff.
Yeah, but you wound up having Dorsey put in the same boat with Hugh Jackson, and I'm not sure that was his ideal way to get it or not get it. That couldn't have been his real. I know he was behind the choice.
Hugh.
I know he was behind the choice, but there's no way that was his favorite guy.
Yeah, no, I could see that.
Hugh also said that he wanted Baker in the draft on our show. So I don't know what to believe. I know that.
I think Hugh kind of probably wanted a lot of stuff, but he probably called it after the fact, sure.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what. I'm a guy that would tell you to bench a guy for the first year, or at least the first couple of weeks. So I didn't have a major problem with that. But I think if he knew right away that Baker Mayfield was a better quarterback than Tyrod Taylor, because I think that he was artificially trying to make him into a leader when maybe he wasn't up for that role for the Browns. I don't know. Something wasn't right there. And I think clearly something wasn't right because of what Baker did at the end of the season when he went to Cincinnati and decided to say hello to him on the sidelines.
That's a good point.
Jay, thanks for the call. Appreciate it very much. Andy, I remember
Thank you.
You less than a year ago, or a little more than a year ago, you and I did a show out at training camp where we interviewed the new head coach of the Cleveland Browns, and we were impressed with the guy, right? Both I know I was, and I thought you were also.
With you?
No.
At the time?
No. With the choice to replace you.
Oh Freddie?
Yeah, Freddie Kitchens.
I remember you asking Freddie, does he have anything to prove to the players? I thought it was a great question. And he just kind of was like, I don't have anything to prove to the players. Remember?
Yeah. But he came off great that day.
Yeah, he did. He did. I don't know what happened. I really don't. I mean, we can all sit here and speculate and guess. They just had a bad mix of players. I think John Dorsey picked a coach that wasn't going to give him any trouble. And in the end, it cost him his job.
Yeah, I suppose. But Greg Williams wasn't his guy either.
Yeah, I don't know. Would Greg Williams have done a better job than Freddie Kitchens? I don't know. I know Greg had success.
Here's the other
they
thing.
played well. Now, did he deserve all the credit? I don't know, because he didn't get another season to find out.
By the way, Mary Kay Cabot of cleveland.com and the Plain Dealer will be here tomorrow night. Hope you'll join us for that. When you think about it, the assumption is that there's going to be improvement in the coaching department. But the assumption also is, how do we know that? They all look good until they do something, and they all have some fault that shows up pretty early in the season, and you have a pretty good idea about them. And if they don't improve from those decisions, it's going to get worse and worse.
Yeah, I think that we're trying to base what we saw in the past. Like, if you look at it now, they should have hired Kyle Shanahan on the spot and made him the head coach instead of letting him leave Cleveland, instead of him having to write a 16-page letter about why he should be able to be let out of his contract. But that's something we didn't do while he was here, and that's, I don't know, when you're an assistant coach like he was in his shoes, I don't know that anybody wanted that or expected that. I think that when you look at Kevin Stefanski, you're looking at where he came from and what he's able to do and what his resume is saying. And, would Stefanski have been better last year with Baker Mayfield? We're about to find out.
Well, if you want to hear Andy Baskin during the day, you can do that with Jeff Phelps, Baskin and Phelps, 92.3 The Fan. That goes from 10 until 2 o'clock, and you can do that starting tomorrow. Facebook question of the day we also have the voicemail of Truth and Reason. And what that is, you can call us during the show, which is live from 6 to 7 p.m. Eastern Time. And if you can't get us at that time, you can just drop us a line at the number you see there, 216-200-6650, 216-200-6650. We'll come back. We'll finish up. Andy Baskin with us. Mary Kay Cabot tomorrow. More sports and Les Levine continues on cleveland.com.
Your home is your most important investment, and your garage is the entrance to your home. It's where your kids come in from school. It's where your family and friends gather together. It's much more than just a garage. Now is the perfect time to add beauty and value to your home with an authentic NatureStone garage floor. And every NatureStone floor comes with Russell's Promise, our true unconditional warranty. For a limited time, get our exclusive gray brown blend stone for as low as $2.99 a square foot plus installation. Schedule your free cost estimate easily online today at naturestone.com. It's not just a floor. Wow, it's NatureStone.
There are tastes we remember. Every smell brings the happiness of times gone by. Experience this every time you walk into Gallucci's Italian Foods. Whether you need lunch on the go, a catered party, or that perfect blend of wine, meats, and cheeses, Gallucci's has exactly what you're looking for. Straight from Mama's Kitchen for old world traditions or original experiences. From the tastes you remember to new flavors you'll never forget, Gallucci's is a tasty branch of your family tree.
The Ohio Lottery Partners in Education program recognizes role model students and teachers from across Ohio. Nominations can now be done completely online. To nominate a deserving teacher or student, go to ohiolottery.com. In the About section, find Partners in Education. There you will find links to the nomination forms. Students kindergarten through 12th grade can be academic all-stars. Teachers can be honored as a Teacher of the Month. The Ohio Lottery Partners in Education, where stars shine.
Tomorrow night, Mary Kay Cabot from cleveland.com and the Plain Dealer will be here. Monday, we made a switch. The D-Man, Dennis Maniloff, will be here on Monday, then Bud Shaw on Tuesday. Andy Baskin is here right now. He's ready to grade some How Come Quickies. You ready?
Good.
You got a Sharpie there? No
yep.
Sharpie? Okay, you're well prepared.
I got a squirt gun.
That's good.
Or a Nerf gun.
Where'd that come from?
Nerf. That's what happens when you have a tween.
Wow.
Tropical storm. That's all he does. He runs around with it.
All right, Big Ed has 2 quickies here, Andy. How come when I told my dad I bought a cured ham, he asked, I wonder what he had? Got cured. Must have had something
that's
bad.
An A. That's an A.
All right. Big Ed is in the grocery department today. He says, how come when I bet the butcher $50 that he couldn't reach the meat on the top shelf, he said, no stakes are too high?
Not as good as the cured ham. Not as good. B.
All right, listen. You need to chastise Mr. Gullible here. He sent in 2. The first one he knew he could get through. Close close enough. But he wasn't going to get the second one through. So why should he waste his valuable time and yours and mine?
Because I like him. Let's hear what he's got to say.
All right, here we go. Here's the one I'm going to let him do it. How come when God perfected Earth's 24-hour cycle, he said, I think I'll call it a day? Well, but it's much better than this one, which I'm not going to read.
When are we going to do Les Levine does Dirty How Come Quickies? When is that going to be out?
My last show.
Where is that going to be out?
My last show. The
pay-per-view.
The X-rated more How Come Quickies.
Yes.
Yeah. I'll be doing that. Then you'll be watching more sports and Andy Baskin. All right, got a couple of minutes to wrap things up. Number one, anything that we talked about in baseball that you want to add to it? And by the way, is it possible that in the next 2 weeks that they could rescind the Manfred verdict here and maybe come to an agreement? Are they still opening it up or not?
It's still on the table. I mean, if they want to come back up and try to negotiate something for long term, or come up with something better, or come up with some other thing, I'm sure it's possible. We talked about it on our show today that the negotiations aren't 100. They're not dead. They can still talk if they want to.
Right.
But now they've just implemented a plan to move things forward. Who knows? Maybe they could adjust the thing here or adjust the thing there. I thought it was really interesting today or late last night that the NFL said they are going to leave letting fans in the stadium up to the discretion of the teams and the home market. Well, I'm telling you, we're going to see it in baseball too. I thought I read today that Texas said they're going to let fans in for baseball. So, I mean, I wouldn't be shocked if we see some fans at Progressive Field. I don't know that they need to sell the house out, but I don't think there's anything wrong with having 1,000 folks down there. You definitely can space them out.
It's going to be interesting. I don't know that Governor DeWine is of that mindset to let baseball come to Cleveland and Cincinnati.
Yeah, but Les, he's letting him do it in Columbus for Mayfield.
Yeah.
Why would you let spectators get badges at Mayfield and not let them get them get them for a baseball game? 1,000?
I don't know that answer. From the playing standpoint, what do you think? Because I've heard 5 different answers to this. The Francisco Lindor. Are they going to trade him now? Are they going to hang on to him now? Are they going to just play through him next year to see what they get? What number one, what would you do? Number 2, what do you think they'll do?
I think it all depends on what their financial situation is right now. Because let's face it, they haven't been in great shape financially, I would say, right? I mean, they have to trade guys away. Now, I can only imagine, I don't have any numbers or any facts in front of me, but if they don't think they have enough money to re-sign Lindor now, what do you think it's going to be like after they miss, 3 quarters of a season? How much money do you think the Dolans have to play with now to try to re-sign guys?
Yes, but I also think they look at this as an opportunity. It's 60 games. A couple of years ago, they won 22 in a row. You put a 22-game winning streak in this thing, and you win it right there. I think that.
Yeah, how many to get to the playoffs, Les?
I'm sorry?
How many games to get to the playoffs? What do you need to win?
10,
30, 35?
5 and 5. I don't like it, but I never liked the expansion of it anyway. What I never liked was the 1-game playoff. I didn't mind having that extra wild card situation, but I didn't like the fact that it was 1 game and out. Go ahead.
But no, how many wins? How many wins do you think they'll need?
How many things you need to get to the postseason?
Yeah, how many wins?
Okay. Wow. 38.
Yeah, I think 40 gets you in for sure. I think there's going to be teams sliding in at maybe 36 or more.
Well, you're going to see the Cubs. You're going to see St. Louis. You're going to see Cincinnati and Pittsburgh and Milwaukee. Should be entertaining. A little more entertaining, but you're also going to get the usual Kansas City Royals and I mean, it's okay to get the Minnesota Twins because they're good now, but you'll have the White Sox who are much improved. It'll be an interesting season.
Washington wouldn't have made the playoffs.
Wouldn't have made
through
the playoffs.
The first 60 games last year.
If you stopped it at 60 games, they would not have been in it. All right, Andy. As always, thank you very much. We will be listening to you on 92.3 The Fan.
Thank you. Always a pleasure to be on the show, and can't wait to be back on. Of all the shows I've done with you, This was the most recent.
Yes, it is. Of all the shows I've ever done, this was the most recent. The most recent. We'll see you tomorrow night. Mary Kay Cabot joins us. Of all the shows I've ever done, this was the most recent.